the one thing you think you did that may have caused the roller coaster?
I mean, the collapse of the bank?
Yeah. The one thing, as a CEO.
In the first place, there's a third book which is going to come out. I keep postponing it, but come out by early next year. And it's purely about the bank. And it's going to talk about how we built a bank, the problem that we had, the achievement that we had, the successes, and how we went into difficulties, and finally it's collapsed. So the third book will talk about it. But you're talking what me as CEO, what I did.
Just one decision making that you think, boom, this may have been the reason why. Because I believe that as a leader, we must be, we must own up to our decision
No,
makings,
it's a good
right?
question. It's a good question. No to it. I'm just trying to think. Once you take on a task, failure is part of what can happen to you.
Yep.
Now, I had been the CEO of the UT whole story from inception. I mean, I started as a co-founder and I was the CEO from early days. I wasn't young when I started. That's something that I want to tell young people. When I started UT, and that 3 people in the Tantamount, I was 45 years old.
Ooh.
So people are struggling and think they cannot find their feet and they have regrets at the age of 30 or something. They should keep on fighting. It's not late. So I started at 45 years old. And we had a trail of successes and grew and all these things. And I told myself and told a few people around me that at 60, I'm going to resign. They said, why? I said, because the pension age in Ghana is 60 and I love systems. Now, when I was 60 years was in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah. And at that time, Bank of Ghana had raised the minimum capital of banks to 60 million, right? From 7 million to 60 million, and we had to raise 60 billion. And the UT story was good, so we got IFCs and DEGs and Investec and other people wanting to be part. So we actually floated shares for them to be a part of UT.
Okay.
So IFC had shares in UT, DEG had shares in UT, Investec, and Ghanaians. Maybe 15,000 of them, 10 shares, 50 shares. And the international investors, IFCs who came in, demanded, when they heard that I said I was going at 70, they said, no, I'm the guy who has held the company together all this while. And they wouldn't put in their money and just see the CEO walk out. So I had to break that resolve that I had to say that I would stay on. They said I should stay for at least 2 years past the age 60. Okay. And this was 2012, was when I was 60. 2013, things started going down a bit. We didn't make the profit that we projected.
Okay.
For so many reasons. And then 2014, we actually made a superficial loss. The loss was dependent on whether we made some provision for some bad debts and things, and we're talking to Bank of Ghana. So I knew if you should write off those debts, it's a loss. 2015, we're not getting on top of it. And I called my board and I told my board that, listen, in Chi, we say, in Sukra, Che, or Tuomwa, sent bum. I think I've stayed for too long. I wanted to go at 60, and past 60, things are heading not in the right direction. So I want to step down. How many Ghanaians create businesses and then they more or less sack themselves? But I insisted. My board was saying, and I said, no. I think for the sake of the staff, investors, and everything, we need a new pair of eyes, a new pair of hands to take us out of this situation. So I resigned in December 2015. Yes, at the age of 63, right? That's a decision that I took, motivated by me myself, in the interest of other people. So if you ask me a question that what did I do wrong? I find it difficult to answer,
answer,
I did
right.
it. Because when I even saw that things were not going, I sacrificed myself.
Right.